You know that feeling, right? That gut instinct, that little voice that tells you what to do. We all talk about trusting it, but what if that feeling isn't always telling you the truth? Today, we're going to look at the two sides of that gut feeling, real intuition and a very convincing illusion. Okay, let's just put this right out there, even if it's a little uncomfortable. Your brain lies to you. Now, it's not trying to be evil or anything, it's just trying to save energy. But the shortcuts it takes, the stories it tells itself, they aren't always true. And we're not talking about a rare glitch in the system here. This happens constantly, in big, life-changing decisions and tiny, everyday ones. It's happening all the time. So let's get back to that gut feeling. You know the one. That powerful, immediate sense that you just know something is the right call or a terrible mistake. Well, what if that feeling of absolute certainty actually comes from two completely different sources? One is like a perfectly calibrated compass, an incredible guide. The other is a trap. And the scary part is they feel exactly the same. So let's break down these two voices in your head. One is your ally, built on a rock-solid foundation of reality. The other one's a trickster, and it's amazing at spinning stories that feel just as real, but are completely made up. And here it is, the core difference. On one side, you have intuition. This is the real deal, built on thousands of hours of actual lived experience. On the other side, you've got illusion. This one's built on shaky ground, incomplete data, or patterns that aren't even there. Their origins are night and day, but in the moment, they feel identical. All right, let's start with the good guy in this story, intuition. This is what happens when your brain has put in the work, it's seen the same situation so many times that it just knows the answer without having to show its work. Now, this is so important to get. True intuition isn't magic. It's not some psychic power. It's a superpower that you earn. It's your brain becoming an expert pattern matcher after countless repetitions, building a huge mental library you can access in a split second. Think about it like this. A professional cricket player sees a ball leave the bowler's hand. In a fraction of a second, they're not calculating physics, they're not thinking about trajectory, they just move to where the ball is going to be. How? Because their brain has seen that pitch, that spin, that arm angle, thousands upon thousands of times. It's a learned reaction that's faster than conscious thought. That is pure, unadulterated intuition. So, how do you know when you can trust this feeling? Well, your intuition is most reliable when you can check three boxes. First, do you have tons of repeated experience in this specific area? Second, is the environment pretty stable and predictable? And third, do you usually get quick, clear feedback on whether you were right or wrong? If it's a yes to all three, that gut feeling is probably legit. But now, let's talk about that other voice, the dangerous one, the illusion. This is your brain's inner storyteller, desperate to create a neat, tidy narrative that makes sense, even if it's based on nothing. An illusion feels just as powerful and convincing as intuition. It's your brain taking a shortcut, connecting dots that have no business being connected, and giving you this amazing rush of certainty. It literally creates meaning out of thin air. Here's a perfect example we've all experienced. You meet someone who speaks really well with a ton of confidence, and your brain instantly jumps to a conclusion. Wow, this person is brilliant. They really know their stuff. But hang on a second. We all know that's not true, right? Confidence and competence are two totally different things. Your brain just used a lazy mental shortcut, an association it picked up somewhere. That feeling of certainty you had, it was an illusion. Or think about the stock market. You see a stock that's been shooting straight up. Your brain sees that simple, beautiful pattern, a line going up, and it confidently tells you, this is a sure thing. It's going to keep going. It's assuming a simple pattern will just continue forever. And man, that can be a very costly illusion. So here's the million-dollar question. If one is a superpower and the other is a trap, but they feel exactly the same, how on earth do you tell them apart? Okay, this is where we get practical. And let's just hammer this home one more time. The reason this is so tricky is that your brain doesn't send up a flare. There's no little notification that says, warning, this feeling is based on a flimsy assumption. No, both intuition and illusion arrive with the same swagger, feeling totally and completely obvious. So the solution is to pause and ask yourself one simple, crucial question. The next time you get that powerful gut feeling, just stop for a second and ask, is this certainty based on hundreds of hours of real, repeated experience? Or is it just a story my brain cooked up because it feels good? And here's the rule of thumb. If you're that cricket player, you trust your gut. If you're a veteran firefighter who smells a very specific type of smoke, you trust your gut. But if you're making a snap judgment about a new person, or investing in something you don't really understand, you need to be very, very careful. That's prime territory for illusion. So, for those big, important decisions, here's a smarter way to think. First, just slow down. Don't let that feeling of certainty rush you. Second, break the decision down into what really matters. What are the actual criteria? And third, ask the most powerful question of all. What am I missing here? So let's bring this all home. The goal here is not to become a robot and surgically remove your gut feelings. It's about becoming the boss of your own thinking, knowing when to listen to that inner voice and when to politely ask it for some evidence. Your brain is the most powerful pattern-matching machine on the planet, and that is both its greatest gift and its biggest vulnerability. Sometimes it guides you with the genuine wisdom of experience, and other times it tricks you with a clever, convincing mirage. In the end, the difference between a great decision and a terrible one often comes down to this one skill: knowing when your mind is your greatest ally and when it's just your most convincing con artist.